the Chinese economy is growing so fast, it's unbelievable. Our economy, we had some very bad news. It's just not growing. And you say, how can it grow? How can we have jobs? Ben Bernanke said fairly recently that the jobs won't come back for a long time. And I think he mentioned 5 years. And how can you have jobs come back when every time I want to buy a product, like as an example, television sets. As you know, I buy a lot of television. We bought a lot of sets in Trump International. Tremendous. Thousands of television sets, one order. So I said, I want an American company. My people look at me like I'm crazy. There's no American company. So we end up buying LGs from South Korea. Good television set, but why don't we make them? Why aren't we making them? You know, I'll tell you a great one. And I like the people of South Korea. It's great. I mean, I do business with them. I made a great deal with them in New York on Trump World Tower. It was a great deal. They were wonderful. But they don't even believe it. So here's what happens recently. We have this contract, and it's going to be signed with South Korea. And it's a big, big deal. And Barron Trump, who's 4 years old, wouldn't sign it from our standpoint because the deal is so bad. It's so bad. Like a moron would not sign it. Nobody would sign it. And what happens is our president goes there, and he wants to sign, but they don't want to sign. Because they want better. It's not good enough to just, whip the hell out of us. They want it to be even more. So now what happens is times are a little bit different, and a couple of bombs get lobbed over, to the island and from North Korea. So all of a sudden, North Korea is hitting them with a couple of little, lobbing over some bombs. They call us, they said, we would like very much to sign contract. You are a wonderful, wonderful trading partner. We love you very much. Oh, and by the way, do you mind sending the great aircraft carrier, the George Washington, and about 17 destroyers? Because North Korea is shooting at us. So what do? We have this great aircraft carrier, head over to North Korea. We have the whole Navy, a big portion of our Navy is going over there. North Korea says, holy shit, this is bad news. This is a little bit more than we counted on. And they stop. We sign a terrible agreement. So then I said to somebody, to start up that engine on a carrier like the George Washington, that costs you probably $1 million just to see if it's working. You'd go bing, boom, $1 million. We know, right? In fact, they wanted to have a great airplane. And the pilot was saying, Mr. Trump, these engines, Rolls-Royce, these are the finest engines in the world. Listen, Mr. Trump, I said, don't start it. I'll say, I take your word for it. I don't have to hear the engines, okay? I like to save money. I don't care how much money you have. You like to save. So listen to this. So we send the George Washington with all of the planes and the crew and all of the side ships and the destroyers. You know how much they paid us? Nothing. We're stupid. Our leaders are stupid. They're stupid people. It's very, very sad. And there are so many stories like that. You look at it, you know how many soldiers, thousands and thousands of soldiers in between North and South Korea. They give us nothing. In fact, they take our trade. Now, what would I do? Do a lot different. I'd say, thank you, darling. I'll think about that. I think I'm going to make you very happy with it. So we have thousands of troops, and you talk about, they have an expression, in harm's way. How would you like to be sitting between North Korea and South Korea, and you're sitting in the little barracks? Those guys are in danger. And you know what? That's fine. I'd say to South Korea, all those television sets you sell us, and all the billions and billions and billions of dollars you make, we're going to protect you, and we're going to make sure you're in good shape, but you're going to pay for it. And do you want to know something? They would do it in 2 minutes, if you said it. Somebody said these people are so protective of President Obama. It's like unbelievable. Some of the reporters come up and they say, you don't mean that. I said, what? What kind of they're supposed to be like impartial? They go to me on television. You don't mean it. He's good, I'm telling you, he's good. I say, are you all right? Take it easy. I have never seen anybody protected like this guy. You look at what he's doing. Now, we have incompetent leadership. Now, I'm going to make a decision fairly soon. And I would rather, I love my life. Phil can tell you. I'm having a great time. I built a great company. I have a television show that's one of the top shows. It's the top show on NBC. It's the #1 show on NBC. It's doing great. Even the New York Times the other day wrote a nice little piece about it, talking about how great the ratings were. It won the evening. It wins the 10 o'clock hour for the whole week. It's a great show. I mean, I have to give a lot of stuff up. But you know what? It's peanuts compared to the importance of this country. And when I see what OPEC is doing to us, when I see what China is doing, I'll give you a little China story also. China, I said the other day, very, very hard to buy anything outside of China. Oh, certain other countries also, but China's, the one. And I said, somebody said, well, what would you do? What can you do? So easy. I drop a 25% tax on China. And I said to somebody that is really the messenger. The messenger is important. You said the same exact thing. You said the same exact thing, but it's a different messenger. And I'll tell you what will happen with China, in my opinion. And I'm not looking to have enemies with China. I actually get along. I'm a lover, not a fighter, okay? You've been reading about that for years. But I'll tell you something. When they really believe it, when they don't have Obama bowing to the king of Saudi Arabia, bow down. Remember that one? Does everybody remember that? Remember they're all screaming, drop to your knees, drop to your knees. So when we don't have Obama having all these state dinners and everything, when we have somebody that's real and tough and smart and sane, I'm saying smart. And you say to China, I'm sorry, we're going to have to put a 25% tax on your products. They'll say, when? I said, how about this evening? Not like, they have, everybody knows they're abusing us. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows they're manipulating their currencies, and they're brought up on it. They're brought up on charges, but we take 6 months just to put in a charge, and then we don't do anything. So I'm not putting charges in. We're going to charge 25%. Now, the real number, based on the manipulation, it's so severe that the real number should be 45%. But 25, let's start with 25. We can always raise it. I'll tell you what's going to happen. When they believe the message, they don't believe it right now. When they believe the message, they're going to do one thing. They're going to give us anything they want. Because, the IMF, did you see the International Monetary Fund? They came out with a statement last week that this is unheard of. This is unthinkable. That in 2016, that's in like 4 years, China is going to eclipse the United States as a great economic power. We're going to be in second. And if you would have said that 10 years ago, if you would have said that during the time of the late, great Ronald Reagan, people would have laughed at you. They would have laughed. So China's going to eclipse us in 4 years. Now, under the Trump doctrine, that doesn't happen. You know why? Because we're going to start making our own products. We're not going to let them made in China. When you go to China and you want to sell stuff in China, they make you build a plant and they take all your technology and they pirate everything you have. Look at the deal that General Electric made. They gave up all of this high technology in order to go there. They had to build factories. When the Chinese sell to us, oh, just come on in, folks, we'll pay you whatever. We are so stupid. It's unbelievable. So under the Trump doctrine, it doesn't work that way. It's fellas, we love you very much. You want to sell to us? Build your plant in Alabama. Build your plant in Nevada. Build your plant wherever the hell you want it, but you're not bringing in all your crap, including your rotted sheetrock that's making everybody sick. Let me tell you something. The other thing is we make a much better product, but you can't compete price-wise because of the manipulation. So, one of two things is going to happen, and I hope it's the second. The first is they stop screwing around, but the second is they don't. So here's what happens. About 60% of their sales will stop. We will increase the hell out of employment. We'll be building plants. I saw one the other day, a fantastic Wilcox, a fantastic plant. You'll have thousands of those places once you do that. So they'll behave. But if they don't behave, that's even better for us, because we're going to start building our own plants. And we'll tell Apple, and we'll tell all these other companies, you got to build your own factories. I'm sorry, you can't make it over there. We got to put our own people to work. So I'll just go one step further. It can happen so fast. One other thing, oil. You look at what's going on. You look at what's going on. And we can't drill in the Gulf, and we can't drill in Alaska. Now, nobody knows more, and Phil can tell you about the environment than I do. I actually receive, a lot of people find it hard to believe, but I receive a lot of environmental awards. In China and other countries, they just burn whatever the hell is available, and that smoke is spewing out of those chimneys, and those factories are cheap as hell, and they don't give a shit. Over here, we want clean technology. We want green. What the hell good is it green here if this guy over here is spewing all sorts of crap into the air? What are we doing? So, and I believe in the green. But what we're doing with oil, we've got to drill in Alaska. We've got to drill in the. We've got to drill. We've got to drill. Because there is so much oil. Plus, we have natural gas, and we have a thing called coal. You know, we have enough natural gas. We have more natural gas than all of the oil in the entire world put together. Likewise with coal. We have so much coal. And yet, you know, in Abu Dhabi, very rich, unbelievably rich. The poorest people have money pouring out of their ears, okay? Did you see what they did the other day? They are making all of their transportation is going to run on natural gas so they can sell the stupid United States oil. We don't want to use the oil, we can sell it to the idiots. So I only say this. We have the potential to have a great country again. And I have to say again, we're not a great country now. We're not a great country. We love our country, but we're not a great country. If I run, and if I win, and I hope you're going to be really pleasantly surprised. We're not talking long, believe me, before June. If I run, and if I win, we will have a rich country again. We'll have a great country again. And you know, in a certain way, what I almost like the most, we'll be respected as a country again. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is there any chance, in your opinion, that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks was used, set up, by a foreign nation to destabilise a democratic process?
No, absolutely, most certainly not. Good God, can you imagine? I mean, what a mad idea.
So the idea that your son is a Russian asset, as he's been described?
For God's sake, Russian asset. I mean, you know, spare me. Russian asset. Just ridiculous. It just fits their name, you know, we lost the election because of the Russians, not because we're klutzers, not because we called half the population of the United States deplorable, not because I was the worst candidate in 40 years to stand for election, not because I destroyed Libya and giggled like a mad woman seeing a bayonet stuffed up Gaddafi's arsehole. mean, really.